Am I the a-hole for telling my wife she embarrassed me by bringing a meal to my work? I 33 male recently got hired at a large company in the south where me and my wife moved months ago. My wife was excited for my new job and talked about preparing a surprise for me, which got me excited, but I didn't what it was till she showed up at my workplace 2 days ago with a meal she said she prepared specifically for me since it's my favorite. Apparently this was her surprise. I was little upset she brought it to my workplace. My co-workers, who are vicious and brutally honest and sarcastic, got involved and kept teasing me about the meal. One of them, Austin, joked about how mommy so supportive by bringing food to my workplace. I felt like shit as he and other co-workers kept laughing at me. I went to work the next day and Austin kept making jokes about me, saying shit like, is mommy going to bring lunch today as well? And when is mommy coming to change your diaper? And some other shit. One of them, who someone I don't know well, said, oh you guys, I can still smell the meal my name's mom brought yesterday. She's such great cook, bless her heart. And the goddamn giggles kept on. I felt so awful. I went home and just blew up at my wife, telling her she flat out fucking embarrassed me and just torpedo any goddamn prestige and respect I had among my co-workers. I told her what Austin and others have been doing and asked if she was happy for giving him memo to come at me like that. She argued that she was just trying to do something nice for me and didn't care about what people might say, but I was a selfish jerk who only cares about what others think rather than how she felt by my constant berating over a meal she put effort, money and time to make and bring to me. The argument escalated after I suggested that she could have waited till I got home to surprise me with this goddamn meal instead of showing up while I was working, which made me seem unprofessional. She said she came during lunch break, but I was still working during lunch break. She said at this point, I clearly find it easier to blame her than stand up for myself against those childish bullies. I said I didn't appreciate what she said, but she replied that I should be grateful she cared enough to bring me a home-cooked meal, then thanked me for showing her it's not worth wasting any more of her time cooking for me after this. I told her to stop blaming me for something she caused and asked her to admit that maybe she should have consulted me before bringing the meal over so I could avoid being the goddamn butt of every joke my co-workers told. I don't even know how long this is going to last. She told me to man up and either report them or quit then. I was floored by what she said. I had to walk out because I couldn't take any more of this and felt like she wasn't listening to how her behavior caused me an issue at work. Edit to say that I in no way don't appreciate my wife's effort, but the only problem I had is that she didn't tell me beforehand about whether it was okay to bring the meal over to my workplace. I really preferred that she waited till I got home, or we could have gone out later to eat. I agree that the main problem I had is my co-workers, but I lashed out because I felt overwhelmed with their hurtful remarks that offended my wife as well. Am I the a-hole? Who am I kidding? I am defiantly the a-hole for sleeping with my ex-fiancé's affair baby 23 years later. I'm a 45-year-old guy, single, no kids. All names are fake. Okay, here is the short version. About 24 years ago, my then fiancée Ella, then 20, told me she was pregnant. I was over the moon. We did not set a wedding date yet, but now we wanted to wait till the child was 2-3 to be part of the wedding party. When she was about 7 months pregnant, my world shattered. A friend, let's call him Luke, told me that the child was his and not mine. This led to a physical fight, and Ella took his side. We were done. I broke up with her there. She moved in with Luke. I did demand a paternity test. If the child was mine, I demanded to be in its life. After the birth of the girl, the test was done twice by a clinic I choose and one she chose. Turned out she was not mine. I was distraught and left town. She could have her life. I didn't want to witness it, and not to the present. A month ago, my work brought me back to my hometown temporary for 2 weeks. I ran into Ella with her daughter Nikki, 23, an impromptu school reunion. Ella wanted to catch up. I wasn't angry anymore, but also did not see the point of being friends. I declined and mingled. After a while, I sat at a table nursing a drink. Ella has already left and Nikki sat at my table. She asked for 10 minutes to talk. She knew about my history with her mother, and it was clear that she resented her mother because ... Luke was also not her bio dad. Ella cheated on me with at least 2 people, to 3, and revealed the real bio dad. He had passed away already. When Nikki was 7, Luke found out and kicked them out, and it became the scandal. Nikki was bullied her whole life for being the affair baby. Luke's family disowned her. All the cousins she was close with were gone all of a sudden. She blamed her mother. I asked her why she told me all of this. She said that I am someone who would understand this betrayal, and she is a product of that betrayal. She does not expect anything from me, she just needed someone to talk to that would understand. I felt for this kid, so we kept talking. We exchanged contact info and went our own ways. Next day she wanted to talk more, to vent more, so we met in the bar of the hotel I was staying. We had drinks and she ranted about her life. We talked till late, and when the bar closed Nikki was too drunk to drive home, and since I didn't know where she lived I couldn't even get her an Uber, so I took her to my room. I have the habit of always getting a room with twin beds, so she slept in one bed and I slept in the other. Nothing happened. Next morning, we had breakfast and she left while I went to work. A few nights I met Nikki in the bar because she had a lot to rant about. We also talked about her future and she expressed interest to move out of town to escape the stigma of being the affair baby. Here is where I am the asshole. I made a move on her one night. At first she walked away. I thought I blew it, so I went up to my room. An hour later she sent me a text asking if I was in my room. As soon as I answered with yes, she knocked on the door. I was sober. She was sober. I had time to think. I could have sent her away, but I didn't. This is the daughter of my ex-fiancé. If I had never found out Ella cheated, I would have raised Nikki as my own daughter. But I found out and Nikki is not my daughter. I never saw her as a baby. Never saw her grow up. I never saw her as a daughter. The first time I saw her was a week ago. So yes, I slept with her. And then again. Nikki is more vengeful than I am. She said she wanted to let her mother know, but she wasn't going to do it if I didn't want to. I was okay with letting her know. It took a little convincing in how we would let her know. We took a picture together, clearly in bed, clearly naked but covered by sheets, and she sent it as a one-time view picture to her mother via Instagram message with the caption, "I can finally call him daddy." Ella called and they got in a fight. Then she got in a fight with me still over the phone. I thought I was over the betrayal, but it seems like I had bottled up everything and now it finally came out. I had for more days there, and Nikki stayed in my hotel room those for days. Now I'm back home. Nikki is currently packing everything. She going to move to another country to be away from her toxic environment. She will stay with me for a week, maybe more before she flies away. She has going no contact with her mother. I have also blocked Ella on everything. Yes, Nikki and I are both broken. I refused therapy for years, but after that one outburst where I told Ella everything that was bottled up, I've decided that I do need therapy. I have suggested it to Nikki. She said, when she is settled she will. I'm not even going to ask if I'm the asshole. I know I am. Edit. Current situation. Hungover. Wow. This post blew up. Comments are still coming in. And there's no way I can read and reply to all of them. I might respond to a few random ones later. After reading my posts and seeing all the mistakes. Lesson learned. Don't write while intoxicated. I'm leaving the mistakes uncorrected though. I think they capture how I felt at the time, typos and all. Am I the a-hole for refusing to give my room to my married cousin? I'm very upset as I'm writing this, so there might be errors, so please bear with me. On a one-week family vacation, my immediate family aren't here. My dad got me a room, the hotel we were all staying, so I could have my own room. My cousin's 32 female. I'll call her Joe. Her husband, I'll call him Bill, and their 2 kids had the room next to mine. The second day my cousins and I wanted to go to the beach. Joe asked if she could stay in my room because her husband and kids were disturbing her rest. I said okay and gave her my room card. We were gone for like the whole day. When we returned, Joe was still in my room. She had been watching TV. She had actually rented a movie. I was angry at this because it was my dad's credit card on the billing for the room. She apologized and left. The next day she asked to use my room again, promised not to rent a movie, and I agreed. When I returned, Bill was in my room laying on my bed. I wasn't mad, but I also didn't like it. I asked them to leave, that I need to get ready since we were all going out to eat. We were at the restaurant eating, joking around, having a nice time, when my Aunt Joe's mom, the official adult of the family vacay, said, and I quote, "You'll be sleeping in Joe's room with the kids so your elder sister and her husband can have some privacy." I honestly didn't think she was talking to me until my uncle snapped at me asking if I was deaf. I looked around. Everyone was looking at me, waiting for my okay or yes, mom. But I said no. The vibe of our table changed. My aunt basically ordered me to hand over my room card. Again, I said no. She then said it was wrong of me to expect adults to be sleeping in the same room with their kids when another child has a free room. I'm 22, but I'm also the youngest. Sorry, I'm 24. Again, I said no and asked her to ask someone else. At this, everyone turned on me asking why I needed a room to myself. What was I doing by myself that would make me not want to share with kids? It was so uncomfortable. I left the next day. We had plans to go to the theme park, but they all left without me. I called my cousins, but they won't pick up. I texted and was left on read. I called my dad about this and he told me not to worry, he'll handle it. Dinner that night, I was called a snitch, that I had run to my dad when I was the one being disrespectful. Then my auntie asked me to leave the table or give my elder sister my room card. It was like a go to your room moment, so I went to my room, called my dad again, and this time he told me to just change rooms to hold the peace. My mom and brothers said not to, that they were looking for a free babysitter. Her kids aren't unruly half the time, but I'm not here to babysit today. I was left behind again. I don't know. I'm really upset about this, but I also don't want to give in. I'm thinking to just go home, but it's quite expensive to change my ticket, so 3 days left of this.